What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Cross Platform Podcast. Fourth episode. So, what's the 4-year anniversary? You guys, you're fired.
Wood.
Okay, so we expect a lot of wood comments from our non-existent comment section. So yeah, it's me, that one Heath, along with
Gordy Mills.
and Mike on Skype.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. So we have a lot to talk about this week. We kind of had a scheduling snafu last week, so that's kind of why we didn't have an episode. But let's go through real quick and just kind of say what we've been up to over the last 2 weeks, if anything interesting has happened. Gordy, why don't you go ahead?
Just lots of work.
Fun.
Working away, yep.
Fun. What about you, Mike?
Same deal. A lot of work.
A lot of
Bought a
work.
drone, so I'll be flying around. But other than that,
Drones. Oh, that's right.
Same old.
You bought a drone.
Yeah.
It's not here yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah. I would be too afraid I would crash it immediately and all that money I'd spent would go down the drain.
The kind that he got, the Phantom 3, has quite a few safeguards. You actually have to try really hard to crash it.
Challenge accepted.
I'm not going to take that challenge. I hope.
Yeah, so me, I've not a whole lot of work, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
I had a fun trip to the Social Security office, which is a longer part of a longer story, which I'm sure at some point will be chronicled. I also went and saw Doctor Strange, which I enjoyed, but it's not, not my favorite, but I liked it a lot. What else? I feel like I did something else that was fun. Maybe it's the Social Security office just sucked all the joy out and I don't remember anything. So yeah, not a really exciting week for any of us,
They
really.
wiped your memory.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna dive kind of into The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about last week's episodes, if we can remember, because I know my memory's pretty crap.
That was Negan's visit to Alexandria, his first trip to Alexandria.
Right. I mean, it went about as well as I expected.
Yeah.
There was, I loved how it was pretty Negan of him to, come to the door and knock on it. And, little pigs, let me in type thing, the symbolism and all that. I don't know. It was pretty much what I expected.
He slid his dick down their throat
I'm
and
so
they thanked him.
So happy that that's a weird choice, but that was so good. Straight from the comic, like right out of the panel. It was awesome and oddly satisfying that he said that to Rick.
Yeah, that line caught me off guard, and I was like, yes, that is awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what that says about us, but, what are you going to do? I really liked that Father Gabriel is kind of...
He's starting to become a badass.
Yeah, he lied, like straight up lied to Negan and kind of gave a little sly look to Rick or something or other, lied about something. And man, he's going to hell for sure. Now he can't lie. I think that's part of the rules, right? For a priest, not supposed to lie. What else? The fact that they brought up Shane and Judith for the first time since
Rick acknowledged that Judith is probably not his.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that Rick accepts that, like, see, I knew that. I kind of knew that already, but she's mine, and
he kind of showed that, like, change that happens. I guess for a parent, I noticed it with me. Like, all of a sudden, you have something to live for, that's somebody else,
right?
And it really changes the decisions that you make and the things that you do. Mike, I think you can probably agree with that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I I haven't been in quite that same situation, but kids definitely change your priorities by
Sure.
a large amount.
Makes you, I mean, I know for me, I haven't been in a zombie apocalypse lately, but in everyday life, like I drive a little bit more cautiously.
I think we've talked about this before.
Have we
I think so.
on here?
I think so.
I know we were gonna talk about it last week.
I don't know.
Well, our censorship episode, we kind of went back on our parenting a lot.
We talked
That's
about
true, yeah.
parenting a little bit, but like, I guess there's the whole like leading by example, but at the same time, there's like not being dead and, wanting to be around and changing the way you do things because of potential outcomes,
Right.
I mean, do you still drive crazy, Mike?
Oh no! You know what? I've been just setting the speed controller like 5 over, and like that's it. And you know me, that's a
Yeah.
big change.
Yes,
You
it
just
is.
Censor yourself. Yeah, I drive crazy. It doesn't matter.
Do you drive on 2 flat tires for 3 miles?
To hide your car at your friend's mom's garage.
No, that's a story.
After we did a traffic circle at 65 miles an hour.
Oh Jesus!
Curbed it.
When was this?
When was that? 2010.
Oh man, that was a few years ago.
Yeah,
It's a
6
great
years
memory
ago.
though. I'd do it all over again if I had to.
Breaking the law.
Uh,
All right, well, let's move into this week's episode. Which, man,
Maggie's in the hilltop.
Maggie, I mean, yeah, she, knowing what happens in the comics, it's kind of hard to look at it a lot of ways, than most people.
Yeah. Did they paint Gregory to be
That
as
big of a
an
dickhead?
asshole as he was in the
I
show?
don't remember.
I remember them painting him to be like kind of crazy, and they're doing that here, but I don't remember him being such a dick.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got a TV and, audiences that may not be familiar with the I don't know, the genre. You kind of have to beat people over the head with an idea to get
Yeah,
it to,
that's true.
stick. But yeah, I mean, mission accomplished. He was a dickhead. I liked, let's see, Carl. We took some notes like true nerds while we were watching the show. My first line of my notes is just Carl sucks at darts.
Yeah, I wrote Carl can't darts.
Well, you know what? It's probably hard to play darts with one eye.
Right, and that's what I said. Gordy kind of turned to me and was like, "Why does he suck so bad?" I was like, "Well, it's probably kind of hard with one eye." He's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, but then the more I think about it, like if I'm aiming a gun or if I'm trying to line something up to throw it, I close one eye anyway.
You're not supposed to do that.
But you're not supposed to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when they teach you how to shoot, they never close both eyes.
Well, whatever.
That's why you suck at shooting.
I don't suck at shooting.
I don't know. We've never shot before.
I can shoot some pretty good clusters. I don't know what the terminology is. I shoot targets real good.
Uh-huh.
Tight groupings. Yeah.
And I made a comment when Rick was saying goodbye to Michonne because he was going somewhere.
She was?
Someone was going somewhere. But
They were going
anyways,
for a
that's not the
supply
point.
run.
Yeah, they're doing a supply run or scavenging run or whatever, and like they kissed goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's still weird to me. Not easy there, people. Just because it's not what's in the comic. It has nothing else to do with anything else.
Oh, it's him and Andrea in the comics.
Right. And
she's gone.
It's him and Andrea in the comics, and Michonne has a completely other relationship.
Right.
That hasn't had an opportunity to develop yet.
It's gonna.
But it's weird being a comic book reader, seeing those two characters together.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still kind of when I see it, I forget about it when they're not actually smooching on each other.
Know, when I saw the kiss, me and my wife both had the same both had the same reaction, where it's just like, I don't know, something just feels off.
It's unnatural,
Like,
right?
It doesn't feel natural. Like that's a really good way to put it. Like, I don't know, just something's weird about it.
Like that Enid and Carl kiss, that felt natural. That seemed natural.
Right.
Yeah, that I mean, yeah, it's like expected or something you would expect those two to do.
Eh,
But
We're talking
Michonne
completely
and
innocent about this whole thing, but in the back of my mind, all I keep thinking is all the people that are listening to this right now are like, I bet all those guys voted for Trump.
what?
It's like, yeah, the two white kids kissing was fine, but the black girl and the white man, that's just
I
weird.
wasn't even. No,
Oh,
I was so
that's-
far off of that.
Yeah,
I didn't even go there until you just said
that's
that.
just how my brain
hilarious.
works.
I
That's
was just
how my
thinking about
brain
like,
works.
and maybe it's like beyond the screen. Maybe it's just the chemistry that the actors have. But like Carl and Eden, there was Enid, there was chemistry there.
Right.
Rick and Michonne, it didn't seem like there was, and
Well,
so I don't know if that was because the writers just kind of like sprung it on them, like, oh, by the way, you guys need to like.
Well, the thing with Michonne, at least for me, there are some characters in a show that are sexual characters. That's
Right.
just part of their character. The actress plays Michonne, beautiful woman,
Right.
but I don't get that with Michonne as a character. She is not a sexual being in my eyes because she's such a badass.
I really
loner.
think they do that on purpose, though.
Right.
Because like when she's on The Talking Dead and she's got short hair and a dress and makeup,
And she's super funny.
she's really an overall attractive person. In the show with the dreads and the muscles and
the
just
scowl.
like toughness, like she's scary and that's it.
Right.
Like
And they-
badass, but scary.
They tried
not
to soften
sexy.
her up a little bit with, the relationship that her and Carl kind of built over the last
Yeah.
few seasons.
Yeah.
But still, I just don't see her kind of that way. And that's why the relationship that she potentially can build down the road that happens in the comics is so impactful,
Right.
because it comes at a different point in time in the timeline.
We're still gonna get that relationship.
You think so?
It's not gonna be Michonne though.
This is probably true.
And they're building on that. It's gonna be Carol.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's gonna be
good
Carol.
call. It's going to be Carol. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're
So I-
sugarcoating this. This is a total spoiler podcast.
Right.
Okay.
Spoiler
So, like,
filled.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
With Rick and Michonne, I think another thing that's kind of weird is they're kind of both like alpha dogs. So having them together is just kind
Yeah.
of strange
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
respect.
I guess, yeah, I can see that too. So yeah, we already kind of touched on Gregory as the leader in the Hilltop. Jesus. The one time I forget to turn my phone off. So Gregory at the Hilltop, I hope that caught on.
I'm leaving
He
it.
might just put
I'm
that
leaving it in there.
Put that as the sounder at the end of the episode, like when the music stops for people who stick around to the end. So yeah, talk about Gregory as the leader of the Hilltop, and they kind of made mention of it a little bit, like when Jesus was like, "I just showed up and he was here, he was already the leader," and I thought
I
it
thought
just
they
kind of
picked
happened,
him,
right?
but
and now,
I think it just sort of happened.
Right.
Yeah.
which, yeah, I mean, we haven't got a chance to meet really many of the people at Hilltop. We don't know if they're like total sheep follower mentality.
Right.
And this Gregory just kind of faked it till he made it, and maybe just to get the booze in the big house. I don't know, but he doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like a leader to me. Which obviously that we're meant to think that, but I don't know how he stayed so long, And I thought that in the comics was like, how is this guy even alive?
They haven't faced any threats, I think.
Yeah,
They've probably done a good job of staying hidden.
right. And then
And
go ahead.
and things are working in a weird way, so nobody probably wants to change
Right.
that for
Right.
fear
Sure.
of it breaking.
Yeah.
Yep. How long have they been with the Saviors? It sounds like they've been with them for a while.
I don't know if they've said
or
I
that the
can't
Saviors
remember.
have been
They said last season.
playing a part. Because didn't they ask Rick's group to take them out, and that's why they took out the outpost?
Right. Yeah. And because that's they thought that was the
Right.
base.
They thought that was them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That throwing that gremlin, I think that was a gremlin,
Yeah.
through the gate with the cages over the windows and the loud classical music. I don't know,
Yeah.
that was just fun, I guess.
That lovely rear emblem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I was
middle
like,
finger on the back.
Who, like, what?
Who
I mean,
is that? Is that
obviously
the
it was
Saviors?
Negan,
See
and
the middle
then
finger? Yeah, that's the Saviors.
yeah. But yeah, that was a pretty inventive way of getting Walker attention.
The other thing, something I had a real big issue with, and I know you did too. Roller skates. What are the chances that you find not one, but two pairs of roller
That
skates
fit you
on the side of the
perfectly.
road that fit both of them perfectly?
And there's no way those 2 pair of roller skates fit inside of that tiny ass backpack. I'm just saying that right now. I'm fine with everything else in this world except the roller skates. Zombies, sure, why not? Roller skates on the side of the road in a small backpack that fit you perfectly, not having it.
With 4 good wheels on each one.
Not having it.
This is
And no cars have been driving on these roads. They haven't been maintained, and they were able to skate that long without hitting a rock and face planting.
Yeah.
right. That
I don't buy it.
Walking Dead really needs to work on its reality.
I've talked about that before, just in the whole like, who the hell's mowing the grass? Because
good point.
look, I went like 3 weeks without mowing my grass this summer, and my grass was longer than the grass I've
the
seen on
side
that
of the
show.
road of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, when they're supposedly like what 4 or 5 years into this thing by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you could say Georgia or whatever. You know, I guess they're up in Virginia now. Yeah, that stuff would be like taller than the buildings. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why, you know, they can't just have like canopies of grass surrounding these roads.
Yeah, well, it can't all be perfect.
Yeah,
But
that was a sweet punch. That's another
Maggie's?
thing I got on my notes. Yeah, Maggie
yeah.
socked Gregory.
that was a perfect time. Like from
She's
what
supposed
he
to be
said.
relaxing.
Yeah, no
Right.
kidding.
Right. He was making that hard to do.
Yeah.
She helped herself out.
And I like Jesus's little fuck you to Gregory. Because he looked, he had every intention of giving them up. And he looked at Jesus when he was reaching for the door handle. And Jesus gave him a little shake of the head, like, don't you do it. Like they're in there. And then he opens the door and it's just his booze.
I didn't take that as a they're in there.
I did.
I took that as a more of, you son of a bitch, I can't believe you're going to out them.
Well, yeah. But he did that.
I think you could see in his eyes, like, they're not there.
Right.
Joke's on you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And as soon as the downtrodden look on Gregory's face when he realized what was in the closet.
Right.
And he's like, oh man, this is my secret stash.
Right. He
Of
gave
booze.
up all of his booze.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty fun. And
The
man,
truck.
Carl and Enid, their will they or won't they relationship just keeps going.
I think she's using him.
Just using it.
Right. She
But-
only ever
That's like
shows
the one
affection.
like bright spot. Like I thought so the last season they like snuck away when she snuck out the first time and they were trapped inside that little tree. I was like, oh shit, good for you, Carl.
Yeah.
And then everything happened. But I thought like is it weird that I want that to work? Like I want them to be like in this happy post-apocalyptic teenage romance.
I don't think that's weird.
I don't think it's weird. But I got to point out something that I pointed out to my wife, and we started cracking up.
Okay.
Her face is so much bigger than his.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's missing part of it.
I don't think that would make the rest of his face small. No,
Like when they were going in for the kiss.
I noticed that too. Like her
nose is
head was a
way
lot bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I didn't notice.
Her face wanted to just eat his entire face.
Well, it's because his head is like lost in that mangy
That
shag
could
hair.
be.
I do like his hair. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the look he's got going
How
on.
old is he?
The actor?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chandler Riggs.
Chandler Riggs. I don't know.
I mean, he was
I'm sure there's a quick IMDb search that can be done.
he was like young, like 6 or 7 in the beginning of the show.
No.
And this is the 7th season, so he's probably 13 or 14 now.
Hold on.
And
Vamp while I look this up.
He was born in 1999.
Thank you.
So he's 17?
17.
Yeah, he's an old.
How old
he's
is
an old
she?
man. I don't know her
I
name.
bet she's like 23. No, that's what they
why
do.
her face is so big.
Yeah, that's what they
why
do.
her face
It's
is
like
so big.
they'll get these actors in a lot of the high school shows. They'll get these actors to play high schoolers, but they're like
Well, yeah.
in their late 20s.
She looks fairly young though. I mean,
That's what they do.
well, yeah.
They get the girls that look young.
Okay. Well, there's some you just know are ridiculous.
I think it's actually labor laws, and that's why they use adults to play
Well,
kids.
sure.
Because kids can only work so many hours in a day.
I don't know how well small children
My wife
do
watches
in the
this
Atlanta
show,
heat.
Pretty Little Liars, and like
She's 17 as well.
okay, most of the actresses in Pretty Little Liars, they play these high school bitches, and all of the actresses are like 28, 29,
Well, that's
32.
all the CW shows or
Yeah.
ABC Family shows.
Yeah,
They're all beautiful old people. Or not
playing
old
young people.
compared to me, not old, but older than they should be.
Yeah.
And okay, so the end of of this episode, when Jesus made his little
Just jump into the truck.
his promise to Sasha
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
about finding out where
right.
Negan's headquarters, like their actual headquarters, is, and he gets in the back of the truck, and Carl's just
Carl's already there.
"What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
What's going on?" Initially, like in beforehand, there's like the little sound of someone scraping,
Sharpening the knife.
and I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be Carl sitting in the back of the truck sharpening his knife, but it ended up being
Sasha.
Sasha. Yeah,
Sharpening the knife, holding on to Abraham Stogie.
yeah, that was a cool touch too.
Yeah.
I like that. What else? Anything else you took away from tonight's episode?
I don't think so. Not me.
Is there?
Personally.
Is this the official winter break? Are they not?
This isn't the mid-season break.
Well, because they said usually
Yeah.
they say next week.
That was
or
episode 5. These are 16 episode seasons, so we have 3 more episodes to take us to 8, which is normally where they do the big break.
right.
Because
they didn't say next week. That's the only reason why I was asking.
That-
It says coming up, or
yeah, I think they said in the weeks to come.
right.
I'm pretty sure they're going to take us through November.
Yeah,
We have
because
3
I know
more
a
episodes.
lot of shows are already on their
Yeah.
winter.
Traditionally,
hiatus.
we have 3 more episodes until the mid-season break. And
Yeah.
I thought they took us up just before Christmas, the holiday season when they have all the Christmas programming on. And then we won't get them back until February. Normally February or
Yeah,
March.
I think you're right. It's a long break.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we're gonna need somebody to get in the comment section and give us topics to talk about, or at least
Yeah.
give these two
These are gonna
topics
be-
to talk
These are
about.
going to be pretty short. Otherwise,
Yeah. All right. Well, let's switch over to. We're going to talk about Westworld, and obviously, this is spoilers if you haven't seen the new episodes. Obviously, we've talked about Westworld a little bit before, but never really got in depth like episodes and stuff like that. But since we figured the 3 of us watch it pretty regularly, we'd kind of talk about this last episode, or tonight's episode, and you brought a fan theory or a theory to my attention this week, which I was half tempted just to not bring that up and just take credit for it for ourselves because it's freaking awesome. And after this episode, I really believe that's what's happening. So
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and kind of
That was a theory that was actually brought to my attention late this past week.
Okay.
Um,
And we'll put a link to the there's a YouTube video explaining it in more detail. We'll put a link to it in the post.
Together. I sent that to you, Mike. I sent that to you. It's basically called the nonlinear timeline theory, and it's kind of centered around Dolores, which I think a lot of this show is, and how she has this, has her heart set on Teddy, and her current line of dialogue keeps coming back to Teddy. But now, with William and Logan being in the park, Dolores is off with William and falling in love with him. And I think they're trying to make it look like she's moving on from Teddy onto him. But this theory is that that's actually from a long time ago, like 30 or so years ago. And that William becomes who we know as the Man in Black. Yeah. And they show things like the different labels. In the first episode, Dolores drops a can of soup and Teddy picks it up for her. And then when William arrives, she drops the can of soup and he picks it up for her. But this video shows the two labels side by side, and they're clearly different. Different font spacing, different design. It's not the same can of soup.
Right.
They also show two different Westworld logos. An old style logo that you see on the lower floors when they have to go down.
Or when Teddy, or when William was
when William
shown
arrives,
in the park. By the hostess.
Yeah. Yeah. When he's shown the park, that's the logo that's there. And then when you see any of the, we'll say current time frame stuff, like Man in Black stuff, or anytime you see the staff in the command center, control center, that logo is all the newer logo, which is
the
also the logo that we see in the intro of the show itself.
Episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that there's that theory there.
So basically, Dolores is the linchpin of this whole timeline shift. And in this episode, you kind of see her slipping back and forth between the two. So Dolores and William are, and all of everything that has to do with them, is 30 years in the past.
That's the idea, yeah.
And everything to do with the Man in Black and the staff is current day.
Right. Well, not like our present day, but
their
current day
present
to
day.
the show.
Right.
There is no future.
Right. And it seems
in mind yet. Well, it might be in mind, but that's present as of the of the setting of the show.
And the only two hosts that we kind of see going back and forth are Dolores and Maeve.
Right.
And we'll get to this episode and where we think this theory really holds some real weight.
Prior to today's episode, Maeve was all present day.
Right. Well, kind of. She was having flashbacks of her daughter.
Flashbacks, yeah. But we didn't know what the hell those were.
Right.
And now we have a much better idea with the whole town thing, which kind of confused me more than it cleared stuff up. Like, that gave me more questions than it answered.
Sure. But her back and forth isn't, 30 years ago.
Right.
Because Man in Black obviously was there.
Right.
Anyway, so we'll kind of took some notes again because we're nerds. So we'll kind of go in order down, the show. I can't even read these freaking things. So I'll go back to something real quick from the episode last week. I fucking knew that Bernard was a goddamn robot. I knew it, and I wish I would have said it, but I didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I fucking knew it.
I had no idea.
And as soon, as he and, what's her name? Teresa. I'm terrible with names, sorry. Go down and, look at the house.
The house, yeah.
That the secret family house that, he has set up for himself.
Arnold.
Or that's
Arnold's
sorry,
house.
I didn't shut up. And she walks past this door and she's like, "What's behind this door?" And he goes, "What door?" I literally jumped up and was like, and screamed. I knew it. Scared my dog yet again. And that just made me feel so good and so vindicated that I actually kind of got something before it was ultimately revealed. But man, that whole thing with him killing her and then the pain and sadness that he felt, which is
Yeah.
obviously for a robot or android or whatever you want to call them, is pretty amazing. Considering what Anthony Hopkins Anthony Hopkins' character was saying is how
Ford.
we in the beginning it was only primary colors.
Yeah.
Fear, anger,
Yeah.
love. And now everything is kind of, you got the whole spectrum of the rainbow of emotions, and then just the fact that he can kind of take it away just like that. And clearly Bernard
Right.
didn't want that.
Well, at the same time, like, how do we know that wasn't the case all along? Have we actually seen hosts kill people before?
Well, I just think the remorse, just the emotion itself.
Yeah, they're wired to not harm people, to not kill people. Could that be the result of doing it anyway, even though it was essentially a direct order from Ford?
Right.
To-
and I'm
to
sure
do it.
he's building his own private robots. They can do
Right,
whatever the hell they
yeah.
want,
Yeah. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I feel the same way when he said he couldn't see the door. I was like, oh man. Um, I don't know. Like, he played like he was a really intelligent person, so I just figured he was just really smart. But now that you know that, when you look back, you can kind of see little hints that maybe he was more than
So
human.
that's the thing. I need to go back and like
Yeah.
rewatch it now that I have.
Well, not only that, there's other things to watch for too. Things that, again, like reading up on this stuff, you kind of start to realize a big one is how vastly different Ford treats the hosts as opposed to the people. The way he talks to them, the way he acts around them.
Right.
When he's interacting with a host, he shows absolutely no fear whatsoever.
Mhm.
Even when they're like getting upset and beginning to attack him, he like doesn't even flinch.
Well, he doesn't do that with the people either, though.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think so.
He acts on edge. I mean, he still acts like confident. The scene in there's a few episodes ago when him and Teresa were sitting at the table, like outside this like vista or something, this villa, and he made all of the other staff stop, and then you realize that like they're all hosts.
Yeah.
It's just them, and I don't know. He didn't show fear necessarily, but maybe the unpredictability. And he also uses the same kind of words, like the one phrase I wrote it down. You'll do that for me, won't you?
Right.
He only says to hosts.
Man, do you ever play Bioshock?
No, I think that was something that was like a reference to that.
Yeah, it's
But-
a "Would you kindly" line in Bioshock, which
Yeah.
is like a subliminal thing. But yeah, that's interesting.
Similar type of thing. And yeah, just kind of the way he talks to them. And I'm remembering the scene in the bar with the Man in Black, Teddy, and Ford. When the Man in Black got up to attack Ford, and Ford made Teddy stop him.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that was really.
I don't remember if he seemed uncomfortable with that or not.
See, I think he's such a superior intellect. I don't think he's afraid of anything. I
No.
feel like he can manipulate whatever situation he's in to suit his agenda. And that's what makes him scary. Every time
Right.
I look at him, he's scary. He's a scary dude.
Right.
And it's not like a Hannibal Lecter scary or anything like that. He was in the Wolfman remake a few years back.
Mhm.
And the character he played in that reminds me a lot of the same kind of temperament and soft spoken, like, I know something that you don't know
Right.
type of, thing. And that's why he's not afraid, because he clearly knows things that we don't know, or that most people don't know. And I think that's what makes him scary, and that's what makes him dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm still convinced that the piano is the best part of the show.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
House of the
the
Rising
music.
Sun today.
House of the Rising Sun, and I think it was some Amy Winehouse song.
Yeah, it was Amy Winehouse.
Yeah. I'm not
That
familiar
was
with.
so good.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Although every time they go back into the brothel or bar or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
I always get sad because I really liked Clementine.
You really like Clementine? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was
scene with
sad.
her
But-
last week was pretty intense.
I think I like the new one.
You like the new one?
Well,
Yeah.
Did you notice the new one completely affirmed the fact that there's dual timelines?
How so?
Okay, when she was first introduced to Maeve in the bar,
Uh-huh.
she was brand new robot, right? Brand new to the whole park. And she walks in doing the full script just like Clementine.
Right.
And then if you notice, the man in black, when they got to that campsite,
That's not.
She was
I don't
there.
think that's the same
Yeah,
girl.
that wasn't
That's
her.
we thought
No,
the
that
same
was
thing.
her.
No, we talked about that too. I don't think that was her.
are you sure?
I'm pretty sure
it's her.
because
And
the girl that was tied
he
up had a
said-
lot blonder hair. Like her hair was
Well,
really, really.
I was
blonde.
looking at the
yeah, but
face.
this is
I'll find those clips tomorrow and I'll put them side by side to do an actual comparison. But
because we thought the exact same thing.
the one
But that would be
it's her.
That would be
I don't-
too on the nose.
is I
Yeah.
guess we can check IMDb.
I don't know. That's pretty deep down the IMDb rabbit hole.
Oh, it'll be there.
I'd put money on it.
Yeah.
You think it's her?
Well, think about it. Like this is 30 years in the future.
Right.
I'm sure there's been revisions and maybe her haircut changed, but it's got to be the same one.
I don't know. I didn't. I
Well, why-
initially thought that, but then when they showed her in the beginning, then they cut. They went to a girl that was tied up. Then they
How
went
would-
back to her.
How would
I-
those be different timelines though? Because it was Man in Black and Teddy that encountered her, and Maeve is in the same time as the Man in Black and Teddy.
Well, I think Maeve is showing up in both.
Or are we looking at 3 different timelines?
No, not three, just
getting too
two.
confused
You
now.
have when she was brand new on William's timeline, and then you have her at the campsite with Man in Black saying,
How do
"I
we
thought
know
they
that's
retired
Williams'
years
timeline?
ago."
Wait,
That's
what-
not Williams' timeline.
how was she
'cause
brand
she
new
was
with Williams' timeline?
because she dealt Clementine dealt with the people upstairs or downstairs. So that's present time.
Yeah, but that every time we see the inside working, for the most part, I believe that's current.
All right.
Yes.
I'm still sticking with this one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we'll check it out and we'll figure
Yeah,
out
I
if it's the
don't. I
same
don't
girl.
think I'm sticking with those are 2 different people.
Yeah.
They just are both blondes.
And clearly, if they
Now-
are 2
now I
different
wanna
people,
search it.
they need to identify
you-
the characters
do you-
better.
Do you think all white blonde women look the same?
That's racist.
We know how Mike
We're
voted.
gonna build a wall and put them all the blonde ladies. Oh, jeez. So
else do we have?
I keep hearing theories, not in conjunction with the one that we're talking about, that Teddy eventually becomes the Man in Black.
You mean William?
Or William. God damn it. I've heard theories that William, eventually becomes the Man in Black.
Yeah. I think that was mentioned in that video also.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. But I've kind of thought that, when you told me about it before I saw the video,
I
was
thought
like,
it was
yeah,
Arnold.
that- That kind of makes sense.
I was thinking it was Arnold because they
The
showed
Man
a
in Black?
picture of Ford and Arnold next to each other, and Arnold looked like a younger version
Yeah,
of
I
the
didn't
Man
get
in
a good look
Black.
at the picture. I'd have to see it again.
Yeah, but now the whole William thing makes a lot more sense. Especially if how long was he married to her? 30
Was it
years?
30 years? Yeah, it's 30 seems to be coming up an
Yeah.
awful lot.
Yeah. So that was something about this episode. The Man in Black really opened up when he was tied up there,
Yeah.
talking to the girl. Was it? No, it was Teddy. Talking to Teddy
And the
and the girl.
and the girl.
Talking about how, you know, he's a good guy. He's a entrepreneur and a
Tycoon.
business
And
titan.
he's a god in his own
yeah,
world.
God in his industry and a philanthropist and a father and a husband, you know, and he was married for, I thought he said 30 years.
Yeah.
And when his wife took the wrong medicine and fell asleep in the bathtub,
Committed suicide according to his daughter.
Right.
And clearly, you know, he's a sociopath. He's, you know, straight Patrick Bateman. He can put on a face, but inside he is dark,
Right.
which clearly that's why he came to the park initially, I would assume.
To see if he was.
To test his boundaries.
Right.
As, you know, they kind of showed with the whole Maeve and her daughter thing.
Yep.
And
That he killed her and the daughter just to prove to himself that he could?
just to see how he would feel about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like maybe there's something to, because apparently his wife said living with you is a nightmare. You never know when you're going to
Right.
snap.
Right.
But apparently he never hurt them. You know, and then that whole thing with the Maeve and her daughter and the Man in Black, kind of that whole interaction where he kills them and then she falls into the dirt that's shaped like the maze.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's when the maze revealed itself to me. I'm a little confused. That seems very vague and symbology
And
to me.
that's his only goal now is to find that maze.
But I still don't know what that means to him.
We'll find out.
What does the
It
maze?
means to free the hosts, to let them out of the park, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that does definitely line up. William is there on his essentially bachelor party early on with his soon-to-be brother-in-law, who Logan.
It was an investment trip.
Oh, for Logan. Yeah, that's right. For Logan.
Yeah, because they're there representing the company that supposedly invests a large deal into
Oh,
Okay.
That's right. That's
Westworld, which is why if you look at the logos really closely, in the old timeline, the logos are just Westworld. In the new timeline, it says Westworld, a property of, and I forget the company's name.
It's the company that board member's from.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure those two are going there as kind of like a, hey, this is our product, invest in us type
Right.
of situation.
Gotcha.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
But
so that's the original timeline where the accident's going to occur.
yeah, well, now we do know though that William is about to get married to
Yes,
Logan's
yes,
sister.
that is true.
Yeah, he's getting
Right.
married to Logan's sister. And if they're investing, clearly they're, you know, somebody somewhere. They're rich, especially if they can afford $40,000 a day. Yeah. So I mean, it definitely lines up.
Do you think we'll see the wife?
I don't know.
She'll come looking for him if he doesn't come back. I mean, but
I
then
don't
again,
know.
maybe is the Man in Black or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, he says he keeps coming back. So I mean, obviously he leaves and comes back
Right.
for 30 years.
And you can only go for 28 days at a time.
Right.
Is that right?
I don't remember the exact number,
I
but
believe so, yeah.
there's a time set, yeah. And I also want to touch a little bit on Maeve's new upgrades to
Yeah.
herself. The
Yeah.
note So she can kind of manipulate the other hosts now. And when she did that for the first time, the note that I put down on my notebook is Maeve is a fucking Jedi. Because she just kind of mind wipes everybody and kind of gets them to do what she wants.
So she cut the
technician,
which I'm still not convinced that the staff are people. I think they might be hosts as well.
But but why keep him alive?
Because they need him. But here was the other thing. Like, they were able to fix him. How were they able to fix him? How was he able to fix him with a tool that
soldered the wound shut?
Right.
With heat. I mean, you see people all the time get shot and stick a hot poker.
But he made the wound just completely disappear.
It's the future, bro.
Well, yeah, but those are probably the tools that they use to clean these robots up.
Fair enough.
To begin with.
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
So this whole facility is equipped with the kind of tools to make them look like nothing ever happened.
Okay, well then my counterpoint to that is that he is human, and that's why she didn't kill him, because she couldn't. If we're still to believe that she still can't hurt humans.
She wasn't the reason he didn't die.
Maybe she knew that he could be fixed.
I don't know.
I mean, we see hosts punching people left and right all of a sudden. So, I mean, obviously they can hurt you.
Teddy punched the man in black, but
and we saw Logan get punched and dragged away by the mob when they got separated.
But that's supposedly old time. That's way back when. That's 30 years ago.
That's true.
I don't know.
It's all very strange.
After Bernard and finding out that Bernard is a host, I'm not sure how much of the staff are and are not hosts.
Yeah.
And I would be leaning towards most of them are hosts. And the management maybe aren't. But, you know, they're programmed to not know that they're hosts.
Right.
Maybe have wider... They know that the other hosts are hosts. They think that they're above them. I don't know.
But
that makes me think, like, can she actually hurt people?
Right.
Or no?
Right.
But she can definitely alter their minds. So we'll see if she uses some Jedi mind control on some of these other people and if it works.
But
maybe she
cranked herself up to the highest intellect possible.
True.
If they were hosts, she would know that almost immediately. And she would control them.
Maybe.
What's to say she's not controlling the Japanese guy?
Okay, here's a thought I just had.
Is that racist?
I didn't know.
Asian guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a thought I just had about them, because remember when I turned to you, when him and I were watching it, I turned to him and was like, why don't they just fucking tell somebody what's going on? Like with Maeve and wash their hands of it if they're this or whatever, the other guy, the Ginge.
Right.
If he's so upset about it. Is that racist?
No.
Yeah, but that leads credence to your theory that maybe they are hosts, and she unknowingly, because of her massive intellect, is controlling them as well without, and they're following their narrative as lowly lab rats,
right,
or lab guys.
Or they're humans that don't make the best decisions, which is why they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm sticking with the human aspect.
I still think they're humans too, but that's just the thought I had.
They might be, but I guess I'm more unsure than ever now. Just because of Bernard.
And another thing I wanted to bring up that I haven't really heard many people talk about, but they always, some people have been talking about how there could be other parks.
Yeah.
Like medieval world or Roman or Greek world.
In the book there was.
I have no idea.
I didn't read it, but that's what I've been told.
So Teddy and the Man in Black came across this big, giant creature dude in a helmet with horns. And in the end of the episode, they're confronted with a bunch of people coming out of the woods, and some of them look like they're wearing armor, and holding a shield, and others have horns. And I'm thinking like these are set free hosts from other parks. They're
Huh.
banding together. And, obviously, shield and sword guy from Medieval World and the dude with horns looked a heck of a lot like a minotaur. It was making
Right.
creature noises. So maybe that's from the Roman or Greek park.
Could be.
That's kind of what I was thinking about when I, saw everybody at the end. I was like, well, who is this large
So-
bull-looking creature?
Do you think it's different simultaneous parks operating at the same time?
Yes.
Or okay.
Or
So it's not
obviously
like
she
different
was obviously
revisions of the same park.
that could be. I mean, maybe it used to be, but I think it's either
Are they on the same property?
I don't know. It's
We've-
either there are separate parks. They're called Medieval World or
Mhm.
whatever, Rome World,
We found out.
or maybe it's competing entities because she's sending that information off to somebody.
That's true. And now they're putting it inside Abernathy.
Right. And I want to know, or I don't want to know, but I'm very curious to know what it smells like down there. When they keep going down in the fridge, and where all the old
So
grayed out robots are standing around.
do you think they're making them with organic matter that decomposes?
They bleed.
Well, yeah, but so do the walkers and the Walking Dead. That's corn syrup.
I bet they don't taste. I don't bet they don't smell good either.
Oh, you ever tasted corn syrup
But
before?
I'm not obviously
You ever had a
not
pecan
talking
pie?
about that. I mean,
I'm
yeah, I don't
pretty-
know. They don't look, like they smell pleasant. They're all very gray and unripe.
They're made very human-like, which is why the tool worked on the human helper.
Fair enough. Because I mean, yeah, they're made with obviously something organic when they're in the lathe or whatever you want to call it that creates them.
Yeah.
And I would assume because
Milk.
we saw other hosts in the park that were decomposed.
Oh, that's true. And they had flies all over
Yeah.
them. It's milk. They smell like sour milk.
Sour milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nailed it. Got it.
Yep. Cool.
I won't worry about it anymore.
Next.
So the biggest thing in this episode that just confirmed the whole time thing for me is when Teddy and Dolores get to the place that she painted in her dream.
Yeah, the city or the town.
And she's like, I'm home. And we kind of look out, there's, see the back of her head and we go, camera pushes forward, which to me is like, this is what she sees. And she walks down into the town, which is empty. But then we get the little whoosh and it's filled with people.
And she's wearing different clothes.
And she's wearing her dress from the first episode.
Yep.
And their hosts there dancing and a technician kind of instructing them where to go. And one of the dancer chick that kind of wanders off from her partner, that is the bandit. One of the bandits
Yeah,
that keeps coming
the
into
girl with the snake on her head.
the girl
on her
with the
face.
scar on her face and the snake tattoo that shot the sheriff in the back.
Maeve is there.
In
Was-
Maeve's timeline.
No, she
Maeve was
in
there with her daughter.
the girl.
Or the girl from
From-
the Mexican town
Yeah,
that talked to the man in black
Yep.
was there.
she was there.
There was another character. Or the new shiny prostitute girl.
She wasn't there.
She was there.
No, I don't
Or
think she
or
was.
was that the girl that was tied up?
I think it was the girl that was tied up.
Or maybe they're the same people. We don't know.
I don't think they're the same people.
But then Teddy snaps her out of it. And they're standing.
William.
Well, what the fuck? William snaps her out of it, and they're standing in the basin with that black church steeple
Yeah.
sticking out of the ground
Yeah.
and a roof,
Just a
kinda
tiny peak
tiny
of a
piece of the roof.
Yeah.
And Ford has been excavating an old town.
Right. Digging up an old town for
So
his
I'm
new
thinking
narrative.
that is the town that he has been digging up in the present. And Dolores, but how the fuck?
Yeah, that's the part that confused me because
Well, obviously it wasn't buried at one point, so we can go farther back.
she was there with William and it was buried. And I think she was back in her striped shirt at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
And so maybe when she went back before, she was remembering
Before
even
that.
earlier
Oh, yeah, or
narrative.
even earlier timeline. Yeah.
That was just the memory, though.
Yeah.
Reliving that memory. So then the 30 years ago time, the city's buried. Modern day, present day, it's not.
Well, now.
And now that Man in Black and Teddy are in the Wyatt timeline needed that city to happen.
Right.
Needed that city to be dug up for that narrative to happen. I don't know. Maybe we'll see that in the next one.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing that's got me convinced that that's what's happening.
Yeah. That was episode 8. We have 2 more.
Really?
It's 10 episode season. Yeah.
Oh, man. I
Yeah.
just got really
Hey.
sad.
One more talking point that I think we missed. When Bernard was having his chat with, Anthony Hopkins' character, and he
Ford.
goes, have you ever made me do this before? And then it flashes to a brief moment of, oh, why can't I think of her name?
Teresa.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Teresa, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, is that confirmation that she died?
Well,
On
but that wasn't how he killed her. It was a flash
What do you
to
mean?
him choking her.
He was like
He
rear
didn't
naked
choke her.
choking
He
her
slammed
out.
her head
He
against the wall
beat
repeatedly
her.
until she died.
Yeah.
No, that the other girl, the one who found the satellite coordinate upload,
Was that her?
the QA tech.
Was that her?
Yeah, it was her. Yeah.
We weren't sure who it was.
Yeah, Bernard goes, have you ever made me do this
Right.
before? And it flashes to him grabbing her. And in the episode where she gets grabbed, you notice that it's a darker skinned hand that grabs her.
I didn't notice.
I don't know why we didn't rewind that and look at it again.
Yeah, I need to.
We were just so enthralled. But yeah, man, that was probably one of my favorite episodes so far.
Because he says, no, I never made you do
Right.
that before. And then he has that flashback, and I think it makes him have a reverie or whatever the heck they want to call it.
Yeah.
Where maybe
yeah.
he's realizing that he's not being told the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
Because we were asking what happened to her.
Yeah, we're dumb. I'm glad you're here.
Pretty sure Bernard got her.
Yeah. That would make sense. Okay, well, I guess if we don't have anything else left to discuss about these, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So this has been episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
Of Cross-Platform Podcast. And if there's any topics you want to talk about or let us know what you thought about these episodes, please hit the comments and let us know. We want to know that you're out there. We want to know we're not just talking to ourselves out there in the void.
We're okay with talking to ourselves.
Oh yeah, we're going to keep doing this because what do we got to do on a Sunday night? Nothing.
Do this at a bar over beers
That's
instead
true.
of, at a table in front of microphones.
Yeah, so yeah, let us know what you like, what you hate. Just feedback is always appreciated. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night. So for me, that one, Heath.
Jordan Mills.
And Mike.
We will see you later.
Have a good one. Oh gosh, I wasn't recording.
Oh, fuck off.